This is the audio and video from the G4 Doorbell Pro. And this is the audio and video from the new Doorbell Light. This is about to be one of the hokiest, hackiest, wackiest installs I've ever done, but because of this brand new door, I don't want to drill into it just yet, so for the sake of this video, I'm using the security screw hole to mount it onto a tripod thread, and then clamping it to the door. Is this going to work? Oh, this is some weird shit. Look at that. Except it's angled. So here's the thing. I just got this brand new door. Literally, it just came in last week. And I've got my G4 Pro doorbell over here that I've had for a long time. But the problem with it is, number one, it is not PoE. It's only being powered by low voltage doorbell wiring. And the problem number two is the same problem. It's Wi-Fi only, so there's no actual Ethernet cable over there. Now I have, from both sides of my house, I have outside network junctions, because of course I do, right? Don't you? Doesn't everybody? So I could run cable around this side and come along this brick wall here and put it where this, where the doorbell, the G4 doorbell is. However, I've never really liked the angle of that because it's pointing this way when the street is this way. So what I'd like to do is place the doorbell on the door where, you know, it belongs on either side. So this side, it does present a little bit of an issue because along the floor here, if I show you, this is stone. And so where am I going to put conduit and make it look not like crap? And so that's concern number one that I have. If I come over from the other side, they just put in this mailbox because my old door had a slot in the middle of it, and so therefore I didn't need a mailbox. Now I got a mailbox. It's beautiful. I love it. It's great. Problem is, I was going to put the doorbell here, and now it's blocked by the mailbox, and putting a doorbell on the outside of the mailbox is just a stupid idea. Putting a doorbell over here is also a stupid idea. So ideally, the doorbell should go right over here if I'm coming from this side. Now, when we first bought this door, it was supposed to have solid wood on the side, not glass. But instead, we've got glass on this side and we've got glass on this side, which presents yet another problem of if I want the doorbell to be in a normal place on the side of the door, like you would expect it to be on one side or the other, that means now I have to figure out how to get an Ethernet cable up and around, and I can't drill into the door. Where am I going to install this thing? So maybe I'll just use this hokey dokey clamp, and I'll just place it on here like that, and I'll, for the time being, for the purpose of this video, run the cable here, and we'll see if it works and how that looks as compared, how that looks in comparison to the G4 Doorbell Pro. Maybe I'll just use stickers, tape, there's an idea. I could tape it to the door. Instead of this hokey-ass clamp, I could tape it. That might work, because then I can see if it's viable and reasonable to run some conduit down here. My wife's gonna kill me. Quick break from the tech talk. Let's talk about the folks who keep tech running. If your business lives in the Google ecosystem, Google Cloud, Workspace, Chrome OS, all that good stuff, you know how fast things can get complicated. Sprawl happens, costs climb, permissions get weird, and suddenly you're spending more time managing Google than using it. That's where Promevo comes in. They're a Google Premier partner who basically lives and breathes the details. Whether you're migrating to Google Cloud, modernizing apps, managing devices, or wrangling Workspace users, Promevo's experts handle the heavy lifting. They've even built their own tool, gPanel, to simplify user management, reporting, and automation inside Google Workspace. It's like giving your IT team superpowers. So if you'd rather spend your day building cool things instead of fighting with admin consoles, check out Promevo.com. Get more out of Google at Promevo.com. Thanks to Promevo for sponsoring this channel. Now back to the video. All right. Friend of the trades, blue tape. Versatile, incredible, cheap, and it doesn't leave a mark. So let's get some tape. Let's put it along the bottom side of the door. Screw it. Let's put it along the doorbell here like so. And there. Perfect. Slam the trunk. Let's go. Now to run some cable. Alrighty. Give it a little extra room just to be safe. Now to go get some tools. Okay, Now, handy dandy on the back of your crimping tool, well, depending on which one you want to use, but I happen to go with T568B, so that's orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown. Release your copper, and that's our first cable. Now, plug this in like so. Goes in just like that, comes down the back. Alrighty, welcome to outdoor junction box 1 of 2, 2 of 3, I don't remember. And now we do the exact same thing all over again. Good job. Alright, like before, orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, 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 white, green, straighten these out, and brown, white, brown. Yes, I know some of you don't like pass-throughs, deal with it. And snip the tip, push it in through the bottom hole, lock it up, and let's go. Okay, theoretically, that's loud, and it's on. Can you see that? Can you see that it's on? Yes, you can. All right, let's take a look over at the app here. Aha, new device found. Camera Doorbell Light. Oh, where'd it go? There it is. Tap to adopt. Look at that. I could pair chimes. I will pair chimes. Yeah, all right, I'll do that now. Let's pair my indoor chimes. Hit save. And now we've got here online, excellent Doorbell Light device version. We should see if there's a firmware update for that. FPS is at 24. Bitrate is 10 and uptime is 1 minute. Recording mode can be set to record always. Excellent. Continuous. Yay, that's what I want to see. Create motion events. Sure, why not? AI events, sure. FPS, custom, so that'll be all the way up at 24. Video compression, custom, I'll do it high because I like all of that. Time and camera and not logo is what I do. And recording retention we'll do is normal. The rest of this we're gonna leave as is. I will likely have to change that going forward because that's the street right there. And so I'm probably going to need to put a line, a retention, or not a retention line, a motion zone right over there so that it doesn't pick up on the cars that are going across and only is picking up on the people when they're approaching. We'll see how that works in a bit. And that's pretty much it. So let's run the update. Now, one thing to notice, as you may have seen in the beginning of the video, is that this is tall. It's 19 by 20 by 30 something or other versus this guy, which is a 1920 by whatever, it's 16:9 versus this, which is 3:4 ratios. All right, walking up towards the house, this is what you see. You see me as I'm approaching and then pressing the doorbell. Ding dong. That thing's loud. All right, let's take a look here and talk about what the camera is able to see, because on this, the G4 Pro, there is actually a camera pointing down. So I have a second camera view that I can look straight down here and see if any of my Amazon packages are here, or if they're, they've been stolen, or I took them inside, hopefully. On this side, however, note where the placement of my toolbox is here. My Milwaukee pack out, handy dandy, right? So what you're seeing on the feed, you can see the very edge of the toolbox. So that's a very good metric, right? See, here's my foot. This is the edge of the toolbox. And then if you, from there to the door, it's about 1.5 feet. So it's not gonna see anything that is directly below it. I did my best here to angle it so that it is properly, school bus going by, so that it is properly pointing at the angle as if it were mounted, as it's supposed to be mounted and not this hokey shit I've done. So you will be able to see downward, as you can see here, but you're not going to necessarily be able to see anything directly up against the door. The other thing to note, which I noticed while I was setting up, is two things. One is that the image is 4:3 orientation like so, as opposed to this one, which is more widescreen. All right, so now I have to talk to my wife and figure out a way in which this is going to be able to stay into the nighttime hours so that I'm able to get some nighttime footage for you and then upload it so that we can get this review out for all of you. All right, so my wife vetoed actually installing it on our new door until we can figure out a better situation, so we'll have to leave that for another day. But let's take a look at some of the nighttime footage that we have here. I was actually very impressed with the way this held its own. I turned off the IR emitters from the G4 Doorbell Pro so that we wouldn't have any interference from there. And you can see here, we're on HQ, so you can see how good the quality is here. I have porch lights on right over one on each side of the porch. As you can see, that's the mailbox, and this is the view we were looking at before. And you can see it's picking up even well into the darkness there quite well. I did, however, for the purpose of this test, if I can find it, turn off the porch lights so that we would see what the IR was able to do on its own. Here we go. So now you can see all the way into the distance over there, and let me just zoom in a bit. All right, so you can see anybody who would be coming in off the street and walking up the path, and with the lights off, you're actually going to be able to see them better than with the lights on my porch, which is really quite nice and really impressive for a $99 camera. There's no other IR emitters going on over here. There's no other light sources. There's just this light on the street, and that's pretty much it. So this really is quite nice and continues on, earlier on through the night. You'll see as I move back through here, cars going by. Let me just let it catch up. Here we go. So I guess there's somebody walking over there, or a car going slowly or something. No, it looks like a person walking. And again, this is zoomed in, and obviously you can't see any faces over there, but it all looks really quite nice. It actually got super foggy the other day, and you can see how nice and crisp most of the image looks, and then it tapers off into the fog as you can't see down there any further, and then you can see as the fog moved through, and then eventually just burned off because, hey, this is Southern California, and that's what it does, and now you have a beautiful image of my Southern California home. All right, let's just leave this live while I go over a couple of final points here. Overall, I've been very impressed with this very affordable $99 doorbell. Does it have all the features of other doorbells? No. Does it have a downward-facing camera? No, but it does have a pretty good downward-facing field of view, which is nice. The colors are solid. The night vision is solid. Overall, it's just a solid camera, and what more can you ask from a $99 camera? Now, Ubiquiti actually made my more cowbell, more doorbell joke, so I'll leave it at the end of the video here because they did a much better job of it than I will. Suffice it to say, I was going to say what we really need here is more doorbells. But rest assured, we do have more doorbells coming in the form of the G6 entry standard and G6 Pro entry. Those are going to be released hopefully before the end of the year. That's what it says here on the screen, available in Q4 2025, so expect those to show up. We did just get a hands-on chance to look at them at Ubiquiti World Conference in Miami, so that was great. Check out my video that I will link at the end of the video here for my overview of everything that I was allowed to share from that event. And as always, drop your questions and comments down below, and thanks for watching.